Vicario's save against Cody Gakpo has been shortlisted for the Premier League Save of the Month. Randall Calamani wants to rejoin his previous club Juventus. Danny Murphy thinks Spurs should hire Sam Allardyce until the end of the season. Fabrizio Romero has stated that there are no written clauses in Romero's contract about leaving Spurs. A former Spurs goalkeeper thinks Pochettino could return to Spurs now and not after the World Cup. Dyche Kulusevski speaks out about his injury. Sean Dyche put forward as a name to replace Igor Tudor. And Martin Ho signs a new long-term contract with the Spurs women. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, but I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. Guillermo Vicario's stunning fingertip save to deny Cody Gakpo in our recent trip to Liverpool has been recognised by the Premier League. The Spurs number one has been shortlisted for the league's Save of the Month award for his amazing effort to push the Dutch forward's commanding strike onto the post in the first half of our 1-1 draw at Anfield. La Gazzetta dello Sport report that Randall Muani wants to rejoin his former loan club Juventus following his temporary spell at Spurs. The Frenchman has made it clear he wants to leave PSG and has told Juventus that he wants to play for them again. Former Spurs midfielder Danny Murphy on Tottenham and who he thinks they should appoint. He said, well, right now, the one that screams at me, but he's not at Tottenham, is Sam Allardyce. He's the man who knows how to get results and he's been out of the game for a while, so it's probably unrealistic. I've looked at all the team's fixtures down there and I think that they are going to struggle. I think they could go. Fabrizio Romero stated that there are no written release clauses into Cristian Romero's contract. There was a gentleman's agreement with Spurs to let him go to Spanish clubs in case of good proposals, but never fixed at €60 million and not in paper. And it was Daniel Levy who is no longer at the club. Romero remains likely to leave Spurs in the summer, as reported in February. Give Me Sport report that Spurs could persuade Mauricio Pochettino to quit the United States national team now and return to the Premier League before the World Cup, former Spurs and USA goalkeeper Casey Keller has claimed. While Pochettino remains one of the primary managerial targets for the summer, his arrival mid-season appears unlikely considering the Argentine is focused on leading the USA in the World Cup on home soil. Keller, who was talking to Jackpot City Casino, said he believes Pochettino will leave his United States role after the World Cup, but could not rule out an early departure if Tottenham push hard enough for the Argentines' return before the end of the season. I definitely see him quitting after the World Cup with Tottenham Hotspur. The problem, I think, is that if they could entice Pochettino to quit the World Cup right now, I could see that happening. I think they may try to hold on, but I don't think they can. I don't think they can continue down the path right now without hiring someone and have the unthinkable happen. Timing is so important. I think if Spurs could get a couple of wins in the next couple of matches, obviously the Forest match was a disaster. Then you think, hold off, wait until after the World Cup and then have conversations. I think Spurs need to make a real serious move right now, or the unthinkable is possible. Dyche Kulusevski has finally spoken out about his injury to the press, and with Sweden one step closer to qualifying for the World Cup, he made it clear his goal is to play at the World Cup this summer. Kulusevski said via Sports Bladette, 100% yes, that is the driving force I have. To have that opportunity is completely fantastic. It is a challenge that I have so far not have been able to overcome, considering getting healthy, but it is not over yet. It is now the second match begins. He also said, I understand that people became worried, but it was really for the wrong reason. It was a really positive that I did this small procedure and that we could now find the problem. Now everything should be solved. Now it should just slowly and surely come back. I can see the light. It feels better now. I have a positive feeling with these two important matches in the World Cup in 2 to 3 months. That is how the book and the chapter will end. That I am convinced of. The Tottenham Hotspur winger also assured fans that while he understood they were worried about watching him limping around, he simply had a small procedure to clean up his right knee, and that the procedure is actually a good thing, that he can increase his chances of coming back sooner. Football 365 state a report from Football Insider claims that negotiations have hit a stumbling block, with Roberto De Zerbi seemingly unwilling to join Spurs while they are in a relegation battle. And former Premier League CEO Keith Wyness has told the outlet that De Zerbi should demand a break clause and join the club now. I think he is, and I think he would be the one that I would want to bring in. But he's saying right now that he doesn't want to come in until he's got a long-term position, Wyness told Football Insider. If I was him, I'd come in right now and there could be a break clause in some description if they go down. I think if you're a manager who's not prepared to come in at a difficult time, then you're probably not the manager that you want long-term. And so I would say, look, I'm sorry, you can't pick and choose. You either come in now and help us and show straight away that you can move up and down the gears and face the hard times, and then you've earned the chance to go forward. Instead of De Zerbi, Wyness has also told Football Insider that he thinks they are to settle on Sean Dyche, and work is underway to hire Tudor's replacement. They'll be working hard on it, hiring a new manager, of course, but I think if I was there, I'd be trying to get someone with hands-on experience of the Premier League in there rather than bringing anybody else in, which I think maybe Tudor was a slight mistake, Wyness added. I'd have gone for a Premier League experience, and therefore it leads the question, is Sean Dyche going to come back and do that job for them again? I think he may well be the option that they settle on. And finally, some good news for Spurs women boss Martin Ho has signed a new long-term contract with the club. Appointed as our head coach in July 2025, having joined us from Norwegian-signed SK Brann, the 35-year-old has made an instant impact in the Women's Super League with displays showcasing brave attacking football combined with strong defensive discipline. Martin Ho said, I'm really proud to extend my time at Tottenham Hotspur. I want to thank the club for the trust and belief they've shown in me. That alignment is vital when you're building something with real purpose. From the moment I arrived, there was a clear vision around the direction of the club, and together we've started to lay strong foundations in terms of identity, standards, and the way we want to work every day. What we're building is something that demands consistency, discipline, and a relentless drive to improve both on and off the pitch. We want to be a team that plays with intensity, clarity, and personality, and an environment where people are developed, supported, and accountable. There has been progress, but we know there is much more to come. He said, I'm fully committed to continuing that journey and ensuring we build a team that doesn't rely on moments, but dominates through structure, intensity and control, while representing this club with passion and pride. Here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, the Vicario, the shortlisted award. This is all great, but I'd rather say in the Premier League. But kudos to Vicario. It was a stunning save, to be honest. Vicario's a good shot stopper, isn't he, really? But it's always been the other elements of the game that perhaps let him down a little bit. But as expected, well, certainly I expect Vicario to move on in the summer, regardless of whether we stay in the Premier League or not, to be honest. Another player that will go back to his parent club, if you like, but actually may not, because he wants to move back to Juventus, is Randall Muani. He obviously was on loan with them before. He wants to go back to them, and he's come out and said he wants to go back to them. So, to be honest, this player is going to be leaving Spurs anyway. So, quite frankly, I don't actually care what happens to Muani, where he ends up. I just love by the time he's got left at Spurs for him to bang in a few goals for us. That would be very helpful indeed. Romero written in his contract that, or it wasn't written in his contract, should I say. It was just a gentleman's agreement with discussions with Daniel Levy that if a big offer was to come in from one of the big Spanish clubs, Barcelona's, Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, for example, that he could leave for a certain amount of money, even though saying it's not, Fabrizio Romano said there's nothing in his contract that says 60 million euros. So we'll see how that one goes. Again, another player I actually expect to leave Spurs regardless of whether we're in the Premier League or not next season is Christian Romero. Keller talking about a Pochettino return, really, before the World Cup. I mean, there's been a few people reporting on this and speculating. This was just Casey Keller's opinion. So, and it just goes to show how things get blown out of proportion in the press. There's very little out there, really, about Pochettino at the moment, sadly, I must say, from my point of view. If we are to go with Pochettino, it's going to be in the summer. It's going to be after the World Cup. It's going to be after the season ends, certainly. Can't see him coming back. I can't see a national team allowing their manager to do both jobs, for example. Now, people say, what is Pochettino doing at the moment? And it's a very good question. Could he have the time to do it? Because the Premier League ends, obviously, in May. And then he's preparing for the World Cup. So could somebody do it? Probably yes, but he may well consider that he's spreading himself a bit thin, and the club haven't contacted him anyway, as far as we know. So that's probably best one to just put to bed, to be honest, right there. Kulusevski coming out. I do like the way Kulusevski actually immediately addresses things when there's something in the press. It's actually good to hear from the player. He's had this obviously small procedure. He's had to come out and say that he's had this small procedure. Probably didn't tell everybody. Well, A, because he doesn't have to. B, and it's private. But he didn't want the things blowing up. People saying he's limping around. He's limping around because he's had a small operation, probably keyhole surgery to his knee, and that's just got to heal. If that was 2-3 weeks ago, they're still going to be sore. But it's really good that Kulu himself has come out and said that he seems to be on the right track in the final part of his recovery. So let's see how that goes. I hope for him he makes the World Cup. I'd love to have him back before the end of the season, wouldn't it? It would be cracking to have him back for the May fixtures. Really would be good. So, he's got over a month so before May. So let's fingers crossed we can get Kulusevski back, and even Maddison, actually, even though it wasn't mentioned today. How good would it be to get those two back, just to give us a 20 minutes at the end of a game? Something a bit different, that would be superb. And also, obviously, Kudus coming back as well. God, could we actually get 3 creative players back? How nice would that be? This report, anyway, about Dyche. Not sure would I want Sean Dyche at the club? Look, for 7 games, if he keeps us in the Premier League, absolutely. Give me your thoughts on Sean Dyche. Would you take Sean Dyche at the moment? I'm on the fence about it. Probably make us more defensively solid, and we need to keep... we need to stop conceding goals, let's be brutally honest about it. So, yeah, Sean Dyche, what do you think about Sean Dyche? Get down in the comments, let me know. If you'd said that to me 3 or 4 months ago, I would have laughed your head off. But does it actually make sense? Let me know. But finally, a bit of good news. Martin Ho, really nice chap. Chris knows Martin. He's obviously been in the press conferences with him. Really good to see that his hard work has been rewarded. Martin Ho's been given a new long-term contract at Spurs with the Spurs women. And that was his statement that I read out earlier. Really pleased for him. Doing really well. You can see the performances for the Spurs women have improved under Martin Ho, and rightly so. He's been awarded with a new long-term contract, so many congratulations to Martin. Anyway, that's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on all those stories today, and anything else you want to get off your chest about being a Tottenham Hotspur fan at the moment. And as always, come on you Spurs.